Hello there guys, you're listening to Ebird Online and I'm here with another review from before the 90 days. And today I'm going to be discussing the relationship of Ash and Avery. If you haven't already, please don't forget to press the subscribe button for regular content. And I'm also going to be doing regular specials every other week for this season. And I will be using my community tag so that I can find out what you guys would like to hear about the most. So without further ado, I give you Avery and Ash. So Avery is 32 and she's from Seattle, Washington, and Avery tells us she's into health and wellness, and we tweeted to shots of her doing yoga on the beach, and I have to say she's very fit, she's very supple, and she's a very good looking girl. And she explains that she loves health and wellness and it makes her feel more beautiful as a woman. So currently Avery's working as a dental assistant whose true passion is creating salads with cannabis leaves in them. She creates these salads and then she posts them online. And guys, we do see a shot of Avery's salads. And although the Ebird can never really get excited for salad, she's more of a steak or shrimp kind of girl. The salad does look nice, but one wonders, how much coaching do you need to have to put a salad together? And as I ponder on this, I realise almost simultaneously that Avery is going to be a girl who searches out bottom feeders. And then Avery tells us that there are so many positive benefits to marijuana. And she says most people have an idea about people who smoke marijuana, that they sit on their couch eating Cheetos all day. Well Avery, you'll be glad to know that the Ebird doesn't stereotype in such a fashion. All I think about weed smokers is that they're paranoid, they like chocolate and snacks, they forget to do a few things. Mornings are not for them, and it's much better to keep appointments to just days rather than specific hours and pesky minutes. That's all I think. But hey ho, each to their own. I do realise that there are some positive health benefits to marijuana, but Avery tells us, as a mother of two daughters who are 10 and 2, the most important thing to her is to be a healthy role model to her kids. I'm going to say this again guys, healthy role model to her kids. So last season's 90 Day Fiance really got to me because I thought it was awful how in the mix Anna's kids were with this whole procedure. I really don't have a problem with kids being involved if you've met the person, if you know the person, but it seems to me Avery's going to be another Anna. She just chases after what she wants and to hell with the consequences. And so she tells us that she has two daughters. The 10-year-old is from her first marriage, and the 2-year-old, well, the 2-year-old was allegedly conceived while she was using an IUD. And Avery says you cannot trust those things. And Ebird says you couldn't even make it up. But you did, didn't you, Avery? I don't think you were using anything, Avery. I really don't. So you met a brand new guy and within 2 months you became pregnant. So if you know that you're pregnant within 2 months, it pretty much means you got pregnant on month 1. So you got pregnant within 4 weeks. So this brand new guy that you didn't know, you decided to have sex with no condom, exposing yourself to a whole smorgasbord of venereal diseases. And Avery then goes on to tell us that once she became pregnant, she decided to move in with this guy and he lived 2 states away, so she had to relocate. So whilst she was pregnant, she sold everything that she owned, all of her possessions, and she relocated 2 states away. I guess U-Haul trucks don't move 2 states. But alas, the relationship didn't work out. Who'd have thunk it? And when she came back home, she had to start again completely from scratch because she had nothing. So Avery, is this your idea of a great role model? Firstly, you make weird salads online. And the truth be told, there's nothing massively wrong with that. It's just trifling. Then you meet a brand new guy. You don't use any protection and you get pregnant. You then move your 8-year-old out of her school to be with said new guy. Why couldn't he move to you? So you said to your 8-year-old daughter, say goodbye to Sophia and Isabella. Say goodbye to Chloe. Say adios to Ava. Tell Madison to move along. Zoe, Haley and Abigail too. Say your goodbyes. We're moving in with my brand new boyfriend of 2 months. So off they trot and very quickly it all goes wrong. A great role model. She also decided to sell everything that she owned. Why, Avery? Why not just put it in storage for 3 or 4 months? Why not do something revolutionary like rent a U-Haul truck and drive the 2 states? And unless you lived in Nevada and 2 states over was 1, California, 2, Hawaii, you have absolutely no excuse for this piss poor decision. And then you came back with your tail between your legs with nothing. What a great role model you are. But we continue. Avery tells us everything has changed when she met her soulmate Ash, who lives in Australia, but Ash is originally Mauritian. And how did Avery and Ash meet? Well, he slid into her DMs and he asked her where he could get some decent gear. and Avery says she's going to Australia to visit Ash, who lives in Melbourne, next week. And then one of her ex-boyfriends, Jared, speaks to producers and he tells them even though Avery drove him crazy, he absolutely loves her. And it's quite an interesting thing to say to camera, that somebody drove you crazy, because that's tantamount in my mind to saying because the person makes poor life decisions and is very possibly a full-time irritant and a bad role model. Ash is a relationship coach, but he's a relationship coach with a difference. He only coaches women. Now, as you know guys, I've been sick for a little while, so I'm playing catch up. I've got an awful lot to say about Ash and his relationship coaching, and when we finally have the pleasure of meeting Ash, I will unleash. But suffice to say, I find it massively predatory and extremely sinister that he only coaches women. And YouTube, if you have a look on these YouTube streets, is absolutely full of these guys that are letting us women know what they need to do and how they need to be in order to secure the perfect guy. And I say to these guys, show me the perfect guy and I'll do what I need to do to secure it. But one thing's for sure, you ain't it. And Avery lets us know that she's fallen out with him 3 times since she's known him. How do you break up with somebody on a phone relationship? They've never met. How do you get to arguing? Well, we're about to find out, because next up she goes to meet her friends and she meets up with Jen and her husband, and she's known Jen for 18 years. So I like these kind of relationships where somebody's known somebody a really long time, because you can just really read their body language and the looks on their face and the little quips that they say, which let you know this girl is not wrapped too tight. So Avery tells Jen about going to Australia, and Jen looks very surprised and she says Avery's so impulsive. I don't understand why he can't come to the USA. And then Jen explains that he wanted to come, but he couldn't get a visa because he's previously been a bankrupt. I had a little look into this, and he must still be a bankrupt, and he must not have access to his passport, because there's no real reason why you being a bankrupt means that you can't go on holiday somewhere. It is extremely unlikely, although I haven't considered the possibility that he may still have a Mauritian passport and he may not have an Australian passport, which may well make things a little bit more difficult. I do know that in America and in England, if you've been made bankrupt, you must ask for permission to actually leave the country. But anyway, how did this happen? Well, Ash blamed it all on his past business partner, and he said he stole money from their business, and Ash didn't realise, and it landed them in the proverbial. And Avery said that this led to one of their breakups because she was unhappy that he'd lied to her. Avery, he's still lying. And Jen pointed out that she was a little worried that he's a relationship coach because possibly he knows exactly the right thing to say to you all the time. And Avery agreed, and she said, yeah, he really does. Well, obviously not that much, because you've fallen out 3 times in 9 months, which is quite some going. And then Jen and Avery repeat a story of the first time that their relationship broke down. Avery was on Ash's Facebook page, and she noticed that it said he was single and not in a relationship. She found this particularly strange because, of course, she was his girlfriend. So she went to his Insta, and she was shocked to find that all the photos of her were gone, every single one. She called Ash immediately and she demanded an explanation, and Ash helpfully explained that his Instagram account had been hacked, and she said she wasn't really entirely sure that this was the case, but then he screenshotted her emails saying that he'd been hacked. So in the end, she reluctantly decided to believe him. Seriously, Avery? So let's just get this straight. Somebody at first went to his Facebook. They changed his status into not in a relationship. They then logged out of Facebook and they logged into Instagram. And when they did so, they sifted through all the photographs of him, and any which included you were taken down, although all of the photographs were left there. So this mystery hacker knew who you were and what you looked like, and for some reason they had a vested interest in getting rid of all traces of you. Now, in my mind, the only person that could possibly do such a thing is another woman who's jealous of you or wants to go out with him and thinks, let me create a bit of trouble between Ash and Avery. But if somebody did do that, surely, just surely, they would have called you or emailed you or contacted you to make sure that you knew immediately. It could have been that you never noticed. And Jen's husband said, as far as I'm concerned, this is one big red flag. I'm a guy, and even I know that if such a thing happens, it's because I was hiding something. And I think it's pretty obvious that he was seeing somebody else, or trying at least to woo somebody else, and he decided to get rid of all traces of him being in a relationship. And Avery tells Jen, I just hope I'm right this time because I don't want to continue to make mistakes. Avery, you're making one right now. And so guys, let me know what you think. Do you think this is a car crash? I know for a fact I'm not going to like Ash. I can tell by looking at him that he's a narcissist. And I also think that he plays on the insecurities of women who are probably single in their 30s or their 40s to try and tell them, oh, I can explain to you how to get a boyfriend, how to get a relationship, how to make it work. And it wouldn't at all surprise me if when Ash finally makes his way to America, he tries to remove Avery's family and friends, because that's what narcissists usually try to do. Although having said that, it could be relatively easy, as it wouldn't surprise me if most of her family and friends know that she's a dimwit anyway. So that's everything for my reviews. Guys, I really hope you enjoy it. I also hope you like the new style of videos. I will be working on this to get them a little bit more interactive and a little bit more fun to watch. So please put your comments in the comment section, and if you like the new style of videos, please give me a thumbs up, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I've got a feeling this season is going to be a good one, and I'm going to be tweeting about before the 90 days. And so please, if you've got Twitter, follow me at Ebird99. You've been listening to Ebird Online. Ciao for now.